Good morning and welcome to this Monday's edition of Improving Your Grade the 1% Way. This course is designed to help PDIs, trainee driving instructors, and those looking to ADIs looking to improve their check test grade, is to improve it. We know that we can't improve everything straight away. Everything's managed by small bites. The 1% way looks at just 1 point at a time. So we're looking one by one at the competencies, each of the 17, and how we can just increase them a little bit. An extra point here, an extra point here, so the changes mount up. And today we're going to look at competency, was the pupil given appropriate and timely feedback during the session? Now it's quite a short one today, in compared to some of the others. Given by myself, as always. My name is Dave Foster, MA-DTE-Elite. Reason why I'm here able to talk to you today is because of some of the things I've done in the industry. I've been in the industry for over 23 years. In that time, I've acquired qualifications such as a master's degree in driver training education, probably one of, if not the only one, a diploma in driving instruction, fully qualified teacher status, and many other things, postgraduate certificates and all sorts. But that just gives me what we are today. Much of my career is spent rescuing PDIs, rescuing driving instructors from very poor grades and achieving good results. So let's look at today. Appropriate and timely feedback. This competency comes under the teaching and the learning strategies because it's one of the ones like the tools that you use in order to teach your learner. Very strong links with a few of the others. Was any verbal or physical intervention by the trainer timely and appropriate? Again, making sure that it's timely. Did the trainer work towards the pupil's goals as well? Giving feedback there, giving good feedback and appropriate, and being aware of the pupil's surroundings and actions. That really links in with the timely feedback as well, by being aware of what the pupil's doing. Excuse me. But okay, what is feedback? The problem with feedback is we often think of the feedback as being the bit that comes at the end, the bit when we say, well, that was a very good lesson. We think of it as being there, the feedback in the end, because traditionally that is sort of what we thought about it. We think of the feedback at the end. But in DVS terms, really DVSA's terms, it really is about communication. It's about anything that you feed back to your pupil. If your pupil makes a fault, you would then maybe mention them to, oh, you know, what mirror should you have checked there? You are feeding back information to them. How could we have used the mirrors better is feedback. So anything we really do is feedback. It's the beginning of a communication with a pupil. So things you tell your pupil really is feeding back to them, feeding back to them information. But it goes that you must feed back good and bad. So if a pupil does something really well, tell them, give them that specific praise. I've covered this a few times. Make sure the praise is specific. I'd really like the way that you did such and such. Okay, it opens up your pupils more, gets that communication, gets that bond going with your pupil more. So the two key words really in the sentence: appropriate and timely. So let's look at appropriate first. So was it needed? So is feedback needed? Very often pupils or instructors gloss over things. They see a pupil didn't check their mirrors, but they're doing maybe roundabouts, and it'll be something like, oh, yeah, you didn't check your mirrors there, you know, remember your mirrors. It's not really appropriate. You need to give them the good feedback on that. But also, I see this a lot. As instructors, we often try to fill our pupil with far too much knowledge, far too much information than we need at the time. So, for example, we're doing dual carriageways, and the lesson for the 20 minutes or the 30 minutes we have decided it's going to be based on dual carriageway. But the instructor starts talking about, oh, did you see that petrol filling station? Oh, what are you going to do about that van there? We're talking about stuff not related to the subject we're talking about. So the lesson ends up absolutely full of information which is not appropriate to that lesson. I always use a phrase, keep the lesson on the lesson, or fill the lesson with the lesson. So if you've got 20 minutes and you're doing dual carriageways, what you're trying to do, what you are aiming to do, is keep it all appropriate about dual carriageways. So they literally spend 20 minutes doing dual carriageways. That's not to mention if something critical happens in the meantime, that you would not deal with it. Obviously you would have to deal with that, we've covered that before. But it's the non-important things, the additional things that just said, oh, you know, oh, did you see the price of fuel? You know, or what would you do if you were passing a bit, which is just totally irrelevant. There's no fault, there's no risk, there's no danger. It's totally irrelevant for that subject. But at the same time, filling the lesson with the lesson. So if you could see anything to do with, if we were doing dual carriageways, then yes, you would then give the information for dual carriageways. Remember, what were your goals? You said at the beginning, today we will be doing whatever it is. I'm saying dual carriage at the moment. By the end of the day, we will understand exit, slip roads, whatever, dual carriageways. So you need to fill that lesson with that lesson. So they get a 20-minute, 30-minute slot, whereas what you're aiming to do is to talk about dual carriageways or whatever lesson you're doing. What were the needs? We've decided the needs were dual carriageways, and it all fits in there. And what were the greater needs? Now, obviously, if a greater need comes up, if you said we're doing dual carriageways and a problem comes up with the clutch or a roundabout on the approach or something else, then that may become the greater need, and that becomes the critical risk. And that's where, again, you might need to change the lesson. And remembering to bring in good and bad. Again, you know, they've done something particularly good, raise it. And then there's timely. Okay, when is it needed? Often I see somebody, they may say to the pupil, at the end of the road, I'd like you to turn to the right. And at that point, of course, your pupil now will probably be focusing on, or hopefully will be focusing on, the mirror, the signal, the position, the speed, the look. They'll be focusing on the junction. What they really do not need here is a conversation about probably anything. They just need you to sit back, you watch them, and to get on. Maybe a few prompts around that area, if that's what is needed, but certainly not bringing up other stuff. Other stuff could be dealt with at other times when it is timely. You know, is it safe? We need to talk about. We tend to over talk things, we tend to overdo it. Just let the pupils sit back and let them time there. You know, thinking about yourself again, do we need to pull over or can it be done on the move? Because very often it can be done on the move and other times it needs no. I always say here, trust your instincts. You are the person in the car. Instinct kicks in really well here. If you feel that you can deal with it and your pupil can deal with it on the road, then by all means do. And also, if you feel that you need to pull over, then pull over. Don't worry about things like we hear the examiner does not want you to pull over and stop. That's rubbish. If you need to, do it. Trust your instincts here. Your instincts are your best friend when deciding whether it's safe or not to pull over or whether you can do it on the move. And again, as I said before, good or bad, bring in the good stuff as well as the bad stuff. That ends about appropriate and timely feedback today. What I'd like to do at the end of this video is basically, it says here, I'd like to make an invitation to BDIs. If you don't know, every Wednesday at 8 PM I run a free online Zoom coaching call. It lasts for about an hour and a half. This is completely free. It's for trainee instructors who can come on and literally just ask questions. You may have a question on anything to do with your coaching, with your work. You can ask a question. There will be myself there. There will be probably at least 2, if not more, other trainers as a panel, and we just literally ask questions. We're bit sad really. Nothing on the telly on a Wednesday, so this is what we do. We just sit there and we ask questions. In order to come on that course, or in order to come on that, actually it's a Wednesday night, you need to email my office, info@dte-elite.co.uk. Just email them, ask them for the link, tell them you're a PDI, leave your name, the area, that's all you need to do. And then I'll see you on that link, on that coach link, all that day there. Don't forget any of my other free resources as well on the website. Again, DTE-Elite.co.uk. There's lots of free articles, and there's also videos on my YouTube channel. You will find this video there as well, and that is the link there if you need it. Thank you very much for listening. I'm hoping this has been very useful. I really would appreciate some feedback if anybody would like to give it at some point. Otherwise, I'll see you all next week. Thank you very much. Bye for now.